hit me with it. Be careful with that, that's sharp.
Just stick. Speed up the process. In here, bruises, scars, breaks, killing hours, not days.
Your father was one of us. A fraternity of assassins.
Centuries ago, a group of weavers clandestinely established a covert organization of assassins known as the fraternity to bring order to a chaotic world. 6 weeks prior to the present, and Wesley Gibson, an account manager, reluctantly attends an office celebration for his dreadful boss, Janice. Concealing his true feelings behind watery eyes, he endures the misery of feigning enjoyment in her company. Not only is his professional life challenging, but his personal affairs are also in disarray. His girlfriend openly betrays him with his supposed best friend and colleague, Barry. I struggle to muster any concern for things nowadays, Wesley laments, gazing despondently at his computer screen. Abandoned by his father when he was just a week old, Wesley contemplates whether his father departed due to fathering the most insignificant jerk of the 21st century. While Wesley reflects on his father, the scene shifts to a formidable, serious-looking man in a taxi, purposefully entering a skyscraper. Approaching a woman on the top floor, he assures her, "Don't worry. If your name had come up, you'd have been dead already." Placing a substantial bullet on her desk, he interrogates her about its origin. As she scrutinizes it, he observes construction workers on a nearby building. "It's clean, untraceable," declares the woman, examining the bullet through a magnifying glass. Abruptly, the man shouts at her to take cover, but she fails to do so in time, getting shot through the forehead. The man turns, revealing that the construction crew on the parallel building is armed and ready to fire directly into the structure. Dashing to the rear of the hallway, he swiftly opens the elevator, crouches, and sprints ahead, the camera warping to the beat of a throbbing heartbeat. Accelerating down the hall at such velocity that upon crashing through a window, he soars across a gap and lands on the opposite side. A massacre ensues, rendering the opposing men helpless against the assassin. Engaging in a phone conversation with someone named Cross, they exchange farewells, and it dawns on him that he stands atop an X. Abruptly, a bullet pierces through the man's forehead, bringing about his demise. Remarkably, the bullet retraces its trajectory from target to source, Cross, leisurely seated with a sniper rifle miles away. Truly, X marks the spot. Transitioning to Wesley, peacefully asleep beside his girlfriend, depicting a far cry from domestic bliss. Commuting to work, he gazes pointedly at the very window through which Cross dispatched his target. The train screeches, and the city comes alive as Wesley strides forward. Upon his arrival, Janice mockingly chastises him for not possessing the necessary billing report. Meanwhile, Barry is conveniently at the dentist, yet he's engaged in passionate escapades with Wesley's girlfriend at Wesley's residence. Later in the day, Barry cunningly persuades Wesley to handle his pharmacy purchase while contemplating spiking a woman's post-coital meal with the morning after pill. Internally, Wesley acknowledges his profound self-loathing and yearns not to be such a weakling. As Janice returns to berate Wesley for his work ethic, the camera shakes and blurs, her voice distorted against his pounding heartbeat. Time dilates for Wesley as he consumes a handful of anxiety meds. He laments narratively about the tediousness of his days, concluding with an ATM denial that reads, "You're broke. Your best friend is betraying you with your girlfriend, and you lack the courage to address it." The only response options he receives are correct and incorrect. Disheartened, he selects correct and slinks away. Returning to the pharmacy, Wesley approaches the counter for his prescription, catching sight of Cross discreetly maneuvering behind shelves from the corner of his eye. Upon turning around, a stunning woman with intense eye makeup and a smirk materializes uncomfortably close, seemingly from thin air. "I knew your father," she claims. Wesley challenges her assertion, but she boldly persists, "Your father passed away yesterday on the roof of the Metropolitan Building." Initially dismissing it with a nervous laugh, Wesley's demeanor shifts when she discloses that his father's killer is right behind him. Drawing a gun, she forcefully pushes Wesley down and opens fire. What ensues is a gripping 10-minute action sequence, transitioning from a grocery store shootout to a high-speed car chase through the streets of Chicago. Cars soar, windows shatter, and there's Wesley in the passenger seat, characteristically in a state of panic. A notable moment in the sequence involves the protagonist cruising in a battered yet stylish car, blaring the Pina Colada song, approaching two mesmerized teenage boys. The next morning, Wesley awakens in a dim, damp warehouse teeming with peculiar and menacing assassins. Surrounded by individuals, a deep voice emerges from behind, remarking, "I thought he'd be taller." Sloan materializes, calmly instructing Wesley to shoot the wings off flies before him within 3 counts, or face a bullet to the head. "Either you shoot, or I do." Amid the resounding thud of Wesley's heartbeat, he takes aim at the flies in slow motion. Contrary to his protests, Wesley miraculously shoots the wings off every single bug. Sloan elucidates that Wesley's apparent panic attacks are not typical. His heart rate can surge to 400 beats per minute, slowing the world around him for superhuman focus. Introducing the woman as Fox, Sloan humorously notes that everyone in the group excels at killing, advising Wesley to stay on their good side. He discloses that Wesley's father was a proficient member of the fraternity, leaving all his assets to Wesley with the mission of avenging his father. In response, Wesley makes a hasty exit. After waking up in a haze the following day, Wesley checks his bank account and discovers he has indeed inherited his father's assets, totaling $3.6 million. Entering work with an unusually buoyant mood unnerves Barry, who is unaccustomed to witnessing Wesley's happiness, or any happiness from him, really. Janice resumes her daily tirade, and Wesley reaches his breaking point. In a dramatic outburst, he verbally dismantles her in front of the entire office, thrashes Barry with his ergonomic keyboard, and confidently exits the building. Spotting his image in the newspaper linked to the previous evening's shootout, Wesley panics momentarily until he sees Fox in her car. Joining her, he speeds away with manic positivity as she drives him to an expansive textile factory outside the city. Upon arrival, he questions Sloan about whether it's a front, a query Sloan evades. Frustrated by the lack of clarity, Wesley bluntly inquires, "Do you manufacture sweaters, or is this an enterprise for eliminating people?" Sloan doesn't provide a straightforward answer. Guided by Fox, Wesley finds himself in a room with a chair, where an enigmatic figure named the Repairman secures him and promptly subjects him to a beating. Upon regaining consciousness, thanks to a hose spray from Fox, he confronts a rigorous training regimen involving cuts, stabbings, beatings, shooting corpses, and immersion in a wax bath to mend injuries. Success in the training hinges on providing the correct answer to the question, "Why are you here?" Simultaneously, Cross methodically eliminates members of the fraternity. Eventually, Wesley unintentionally offers the correct response amid a brutal beating by Fox, "Why are you here?" His reply? "I don't know who I am." Thus commences Wesley's quest to unravel his identity. Following a conversation with Sloan, he resolves to emulate his father, the montage unfolding as he transforms into the man he never knew he could be. Enduring rigorous physical and mental challenges, he strives to avenge and surpass his father. The sole skill that proves challenging for Wesley is curving a bullet. However, he masters it when compelled to execute the maneuver around an obstacle. Wesley skillfully avoids hitting Fox and precisely hits the bullseye, marking a transformative moment as he transcends his former non-combatant self. Elevating himself into a genuine, innate assassin, he learns to sharpen his superhuman senses. "First time in your life, Wesley, you're in control," Sloan remarks. Subsequently, Sloan guides Wesley to witness the loom of fate, unveiling the fraternity's core purpose. Within the threads lies a concealed code, revealing binary encoded names of individuals destined to sow chaos in the world. The fraternity identifies these names and forges stability out of chaos by eliminating the designated targets. Wesley receives his inaugural assignment, Robert Darden. Approaching the moment of pulling the trigger on Darden, Wesley hesitates at the last second and confides in Fox about his uncertainties. He questions the legitimacy of the loom and whether Darden truly deserves death. Fox then recounts a poignant tale of a young girl whose father suffered a gruesome fate because a fraternity member, akin to Wesley, failed to pull the trigger when necessary. Justifying the murders by asserting that the consequences of their choices are unpredictable, she unveils a burnt brand on her neck and discloses that she was, indeed, the girl in the recounted story. Touched by her revelation, Wesley returns to complete the assignment, ultimately ending Darden's life. Having successfully dispatched several targets, Wesley revisits his apartment, severs ties with his girlfriend by kissing Fox in front of her and Barry, and departs, leaving his former life entirely behind. While awaiting Fox to secure another car, Wesley unexpectedly spots someone from the corner of his eye cross. As Wesley readies to fire, their bullets collide midair. Amidst the ensuing gunfire, Cross wounds Wesley in the shoulder, inadvertently causing the death of a fellow fraternity member. During his recovery, Wesley extracts the bullet, discovering it originated from a man named Pekorski. Subsequently, he insists on a solo meeting with Cross to personally avenge his father. Upon Wesley's departure, Sloan discreetly passes Fox a sheet containing her next assignment from the loom, Wesley. Collaborating, Fox and Wesley corner Pekorski, compelling him to arrange a meeting with Cross. During the tense wait, a moment of introspection surfaces between Fox and Wesley. "Have you ever considered approaching things differently?" Wesley initiates, prompting a brief exchange before Fox unequivocally responds, "No." The encounter takes a chaotic turn with Cross's arrival. On a moving train, Wesley finally engages in combat with Cross. Meanwhile, Fox crashes her car into the train, causing it to derail and teeter precariously over the river. Despite Cross's swift attempts to shoot Fox, Wesley skillfully deflects his bullets. In a critical moment, as Cross endeavors to prevent Wesley from falling off the train car, Wesley shoots him. Their section detaches, plummeting into the abyss. Bleeding out, Cross drops a bombshell revelation to Wesley: "You're my son." In the fractured glass reflection, Wesley observes Fox cocking her gun. Imploring her for the truth, she confesses that Wesley was selected for the assignment because he was the one person Cross refused to kill. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching and see you again soon. Take care.